Hello, and welcome to the second edition of 15 Things That Most Poor People Waste Their Money On by Warren Buffett. Along the way, I offer some tips that I tried along the way, do's and don'ts, and suggestions by others. And if you have any, be sure to leave them in the comment box. I plan on pinning them. This will help others as they come and view the video. Welcome to the Dandy DIY. I'm Elizabeth. Let's get started. The first one is number 6, which is new cars. He warns against new cars, and I will warn you against purchasing a new vehicle. For one, people forget about the stress that comes along with that overshadows the excitement of that new vehicle, and it is revisited in a short period of time after having purchased a new vehicle. There are stress involved in it. You don't want anyone to hit it. You don't want it to be in a collision or it to get wrecked or dinged or damaged in any way. And of course, when the payment comes along, and in the beginning, maybe you are prepared for it, but then shortly thereafter, that payment is really huge and it's a house payment. So let me put things into perspective. Right now, currently in 2024, the average vehicle is costing around $44,000. Now that is a baseline price, and there are extra options and things that they place on the car, and you can do some wheeling and dealing, maybe have a trade-in, money to put down. But the bottom line is, by the time you pay for that vehicle, you still will have paid around $44,000. And the obligations nowadays are no longer 4 and 5 years, they are now 7, 8, and more years of finance. So when you put that in perspective and you think about it, you are truly making a house payment. I'll put it in better perspective. In 1995, when we purchased our home, it was a double wide. We needed mini bedrooms because of our children, and we wanted space. Now, by the time we did wheeling and dealing, the list price for our double wide was $65,000. But by the time we negotiated and worked it out, we paid $45,000 for our double wide. Now, not including interest over the years, but we were living in it. It was our home, our domicile, and our protecting safety quarters. Therefore, we were able to keep value within our home and make updates and changes. Unfortunately, with a vehicle, we all know it deducts in value as soon as you pull it off the lot. And each year, as it gets older, it depreciates in value rapidly, very, very quickly. So one of the things to put on your list to get out of debt and become debt-free, you want to pay that car payment off as quickly as possible. And if you can, avoid purchasing a new car at all. Look for other things like ones that are several years old, maybe 5, 6, or more years old, low mileage, dependability, and have it checked out by your mechanic. A lot of people fail to do that last part. If you are purchasing a used car and you are not car savvy, take it to your mechanic or call them and get suggestions and what they recommend. They'll be glad to offer that service for you and tell you. And some of them will even tell you, bring it by, let me give it a run. And when you take it by, they'll put it on the lift, they'll check it out, and they'll even drive it up the road. And they will give you their honest opinion based on mechanics and functionality as well as the longevity of that vehicle. So let me give you some things that will offer you tips on what you're currently in. You've already bought a car, you're committed to it. Now it's a matter of keeping it lasting for a long period of time and no longer allowing the joy of your vehicle and driving it and the security you feel when you're in it being overshadowed by the stress and the debt, and knowing that obligation is going to keep coming and confronting you month after month after month for many years. Now, when you think about a car being financed for 8 years, I want you to also bear in mind you could have given birth to a child, and that child would have already advanced going into the 4th grade. That is major because now they're approaching middle school. You've already put them all the way through preschool, kindergarten, and on up. When you think of it like that, that is a long obligation, and we know how many changes our children go through over that period of time. Imagine what a vehicle is going through as well. So by buying a vehicle that you've already been able to pay for, or pay for it very quickly, takes that away, and you are no longer overshadowed by the debt and the stress, and you can still enjoy your car. So let me offer you tips from my father, who was a mechanic, that will give you longevity of your vehicle for many years to come. Number one, always change the oil based on the manufacturer's recommendation. And when you have the oil change, change the air filter. Combustion and emissions is extremely important for the longevity of the car and for it to perform as the manufacturer instructed. You can find all this information in the manual. Be sure to read it. Number three, make sure you check your radiator fluid. Flush it when it needs to be, and that the antifreeze that you place in it is optimal for freezing cold weather and heat. If you buy a premix, you're ready to go. Number four, keep all of the fluids in your vehicle checked on a regular basis. Even if you have to assign a setting on your phone to alert you to do that, make it your priority to keep an eye on the fluids. Be sure to check the oil, transmission, even the wiper fluid, and all your fluids are running optimal and where they need to be. And number five, get your manual out for your vehicle. Read through it. I promise you, you're going to fall in love with your vehicle again, and you're going to learn things that it can do that you forgot about. Additionally, it's going to tell you all of this maintenance information very quickly, and do those things. Follow the manufacturer's instruction. If it's a timing belt that needs to be changed, if anything needs to be changed out and renewed, do that. Now I'm going to give you a few more. Please, please, please check the tire pressure. Be aware that as the seasons change and the weather changes, in the summertime your tires will swell up, and you may have to release some of the air. Make sure the pressure is balanced based on what the manufacturer recommends for your tire and vehicle. If you are hearing a thud when you're riding on it, those tires are blown up, they're real tight, and you are feeling every bump in the road. You're not getting that smooth ride like you did before. So if the manufacturer of the tire states that that is a 55,000 miles tire, then that means you have to rotate it and keep the pressure correct in order to wear the treads evenly and correctly. Most of the time when you have a new set of tires placed on your vehicle, the person you got that done from offers rotation for free. Exercise that. It's to your advantage and your benefit. And I'm going to throw in a bonus of number 7. If you have brakes that are wearing out and they are scraping metal, that is hitting the rotary. Now there's two things that can happen there. Number one, it is wearing out the rotary, it's scraping metal to metal, and chances are it's going to not slow down appropriately. Second thing, whenever that happens, you have that wear and tear on your brakes and you hit those brakes, the anti-lock system in your vehicle fails to operate because it cannot engage correctly at the appropriate compression state in order to keep your car safe and locking down like it's supposed to and stopping when it needs to. You have just omitted all of its use by allowing those brakes to wear down. Now what's really funny about this and what gets me all worked up is normally when I see a car that they have the brakes scraping metal to metal, the individual is holding a cell phone that they paid around $1,200 for. Hello? Don't do that. If you can afford to pay for a cell phone, you can afford to buy new rotaries and brakes to put on your car. Maintain your car. I promise you, your car will thank you, and you will thank me for reminding you. You'll fall in love with it again, I promise. Now, what perspective am I coming from? I have owned my vehicles in my driveway. I am still driving them. The youngest vehicle in my driveway right now is 22 years old, and it happens to be mine. We purchased our vehicles trade-ins or promotion cards, or promo cards as they call them. And we bought them new to us, but they would have been a couple of years old. We did get them from a dealership. And I had done this before I decided I'm going debt free. I'm not going to owe anybody. I want to own my stuff free and clear and pay cash for everything I purchase. And I am not going to be under these obligations anymore. I had already gotten into those loans, so they were priority on my list of becoming debt free, paying them off as quickly as I could, and being as efficient with taking care of them as you possibly can. Be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions, change the oil when you're supposed to, and do all the things that I recommend. Take care of your car. It'll take care of you. I promise. Number 7 is gym memberships. This really is a personal choice. Are you using the gym? Are you going on a regular basis? Do you need a spotting buddy in order for you to really truly maintain and doing that? Sit down and look at it. If you have a workload and you're obligated with your job that it interferes with you being able to go on a regular basis and you're not able to keep that up, consider the math. How much are you paying every single month for a gym membership that you're unable to exercise the use of, and perhaps divert those dollars somewhere else? Additionally, if there is a way for you to create some kind of buddy system, if you work out better with someone that is encouraging you and that just keeps you motivated, go that direction and consider that. Perhaps put your membership aside for a little while, check and see if they have different packages based on the seasons, and maybe your workload will allow you. Another thing that you can consider is YMCAs are generally everywhere, and perhaps there's one local to you, or even a community that offers you availability to use their equipment, and maybe you make a donation or some kind of small fee that might be a little bit smaller than what you already have. The YMCA always offers programs for families and singles alike, and that is included along with your membership. Sometimes they have additional classes you can pay for, and therefore short spans of time to where you can renew it as you desire. And that works out really good for people budget-wise. So you can really save your dollars and tighten up your budget, fill up your wallet, and fatten up your bank account by simply using that money where it is best needed versus expending it on something that you seldom get to use. So this is what I want you to keep in mind. You are working. You're working hard. You're going on a regular basis. You have to do your job in order to pay your bills and have your lights on and water pumping into your pipes. So when you go to a gym, you are working out. Are you noticing any consistencies here? Going to work, working out. I don't know about you, but both of those have work in them. That is right there. That can be stressful. This sense of obligation of thinking, oh, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use my gym membership. I got to get back to working out. I'm going to have to do it. Maybe you can consider an alternative. Walking is the greatest exercise you can do. If you do a lot of that at your job already, you're probably getting the workout that you need. Perhaps consider other means of getting exercise. When you're on your breaks, lunch breaks and breaks in between, take a brisk walk. A lot of these buildings have stairs in them. Go up and down the stairwell. This is totally free, and you're doing it while you're working, perhaps during your lunch break. That way you're already increasing your metabolism and burning off those calories, as well as fueling your body and giving that dopamine and feel-good hormone so that you can get through your day. At the end of your day, if you're eating supper, perhaps that's a better time for you. Take a brisk walk. If you have a housing development or neighborhood or tract local to you, that would be something you could do. And a lot of times, if you have a family member, brother, sister, friend, cousin, neighbor, you can get them to be your sporting buddy, and you can go and do that brisk walk. I used to walk every evening after work, Monday through Thursday, on a regular basis. People saw my commitment, and I actually picked up 2 people that walked with me, and 3 of us went together every day after work, Monday through Thursday. If you're concerned about the distance of it, get in your car and measure that little route and find out how far it is. Mine was never the goal of miles as much as it was how many laps and how many periods of time that I knew made me feel better and I felt good after having done it. As time went on, I might push myself a little bit more to go a little bit further. But the thing is a brisk walk, 45 minutes, is very sufficient to an aerobic workout, any kind of cardiovascular that you're doing, running, jogging. It works equivalent. It really does. Check it out on Google. There's all kinds of studies and charts and things that you can go by to prove what I am saying. I'm offering to you a way that you can take that same money that you're not using, or you're using it where you don't need to, because remember, this is wasting money when you can do it another way. Find another way to do it, especially if you're not using it. Don't be wasting the money. Put that where you can use it. Put it on a bill, a debt, and free up that stress that you're dealing with. And then do your brisk walk after work to relieve the stress. And I assure you, you'll lose weight at the same time if that be your goal. And it'll keep you healthy, heart healthy, and your mind de-stressed. Number 8, subscription services. Oh my goodness, we can talk about this really, really good because we all are watching on a device, right? And some of us now have our televisions where we have these boxes and we can use our apps. Additionally, I want to add to that magazines, newspaper, anything that you're getting on a regular basis and you're not able to sit down and truly read that, get away from that subscription. You can't afford it. Your budget should not even be dented into for such things. Here's another thing. Recipes, all kinds of information, blogs. You have the internet. Utilize it. And these magazines also offer that on their website. They'll have all kinds of information, recipes. You have Pinterest. There are so many ways to Sunday that you can get recipes. All of the social medias are doing it. Free recipes. You can find them everywhere. If you are doing crochet, knitting, whatever you're into, perhaps that's why you are getting that magazine. And if it is living in general and you're watching YouTube, well, you're pretty much getting what those magazines are writing about in real time with a real human being. So look into your subscription services and do away with any kind of service that's mailing something to you that you are not using. If you are not using it, you can't afford to be diverting those dollars where they're not needed. Take that money and put it where you do need it. Also, look at your devices. Check them. The average person uses less than 20% of what's on their device, whether it be their television, home computer, laptop, tablet, and cell phone. If you're not using those apps, make sure you unsubscribe to them and then uninstall them. Remove them and put that money where you need it. This is what I want you to think about. A lot of people's like, oh, it's 99 cents. Okay, so it's 99 cents per month for 12 months. That's $12. That is a third of an average cell phone bill for a single phone. So if you're paying $50 a month for your cell phone, you just got a third of it right there by doing away with one 99-cent monthly app on your phone. And most of them are costing more than that now. So let's say they are $3. They're $2.99 a month for 12 months. We are now at $36. We can take that money and pay our cell phone bill. We can take that money and pay it towards that car payment. Or we can save it in our savings for that emergency. Most poor people don't have an emergency fund because, well, they're trying to survive. They're trying to pay their bills. All I'm saying is consider that. If you're not using it, unsubscribe, uninstall, and free it up. That way, that money is coming to you. Get away from those subscription services. As I did get rid of all subscription services. And at that time, cell phones were fairly new, so these apps you did not have. But I am mindful of that on a regular basis every single time. I just try to stay away from that and not get committed in that. If I'm not using, I try to unsubscribe immediately and then uninstall it and get it removed. But what I wanted to add is they still send them out. There are a lot of places that request your donations. And so they're constantly sending something in the mail, and they'll have a little paper on there asking for a certain amount or suggesting a certain amount for you to send back to them. In my beginning 22 years ago, my debt-free journey included that, because what I found is I'm poor, I can't help myself, and I am sending my money to others. And what happens is you would send them that little bit of money because of that sense of obligation. I felt obligated. They sent me these beautiful cards, or the address labels, notebooks, ink pens, and I felt obligated to give them something. And I would send that money. It would not be just a few weeks after I sent that money, just a matter of weeks, and they would send it to me again. There again, I was doing it again. It is like a monthly payment, and they are pulling that money out of you. So when you think of $5, $10 per donation, and you multiply that by 12 months, it adds up fast. You're getting in at $5, you're already at $60. If you're doing $10, you're at $120. You're poor. You're broke. You can't afford to help others. So I want you to put your mindset in. Don't judge me for that. What I'm saying is, when you get in a better position, go back to helping. Help those people. If you can't help yourself, you can't help others. So I want you to think of it like this. If you're in an airplane, the first thing they tell you if the airplane gets in trouble is to put your oxygen mask on first and then assist the person beside of you. So think of it as flying in an airplane. It's going down. We're in trouble. We have to first adjust ourselves, and then we can be of assistance to others. So once I became debt-free, I was able to go back to that. And I still have to be careful and pick and choose how often I send the money back to them, because I know that as soon as I send it, they're going to send me a new package. And you just have to be aware of that and get that tuned into your mind. That works just like subscriptions. If they are hitting you up every month or every other month, that $5 and $10 adds up really, really fast. And you can't afford it right now. You do not want to be sending your money to those in need if you can't help yourself. Help yourself first so you can be of a great service to others. Forgive me if I've offended anybody by saying that. There are times when I have given a lump sum, and that worked great. I was still grateful that I was able to give something. But when there were straps on us and we were truly, truly struggling, I had to rethink what I was doing. And my faith and, being raised up that way, I thought that that was my obligation, but I realized that I had to help myself first. So get away from subscription programs and look into your apps on your devices and check those. And then also be mindful of those requesting donations. Help yourself, and then you can help others again at a later date. Number 9, overuse of skincare products and personal hygiene. I can talk a blue streak on this. Let me explain that is an overconsumption situation. There are many, many people that are just truly going overboard with buying all kinds of beauty products and skincare and hygiene. And the whole thing of this constantly advertisement and bombarding you with that for male and female. It is truly crazy. The men, the beards, the shaving, the razors, the watches. It is an overconsumption of constant personal skincare and hygiene products. Just overwhelmed, and you're constantly seeing it. So I want you to be mindful and tune in to this. And then I'm going to give you some tips on what's really, really beneficial. Well, when I began my journey, I was real young, and I had come from this background of, I had been a Mary Kay consultant for 9 years. I was a red jacket, led a team, the whole shebang. I had also sold Avon back in the day. And now I am a practicing herbalist and apothecary and have been for over 21 years. I make all natural skincare products from inside to outside of your body. And this is your largest organ. Now, organ is part of what the human body must have in order to survive and live here on earth. Your skin is your largest organ. It is the most incredible thing. It has the ability to absorb and secrete liquids and oils. That is such an amazing thing to me. I'm still amazed by it. Additionally, I am a licensed cosmetologist, and I have been practicing that for over 6 years. I just renewed my license for my continuing ed for another 3 years. I'm in a position of someone who is qualified to speak as an authority in this category. And I want to explain this. Every company, no matter who formulates what, has a base formula that they all have to go by. It has to be set up that way in order for shampoo to lather, for soap to be hard and firm, for conditioners to work as they should, for lotions to thicken and be applied, sprays. Everything has a base formula everybody has to go through chemically. Once you establish that base, you can tweak it. You can add things to it, enhance it, enrich it, and there's the key. Stuff has to be added to it. So each company has their certain product, the way that they tweak it. But what it boils down to is all companies across the board have to use the same formula to begin with. If they add anything to it, there is a great potential that it could be harmful, not good for you, too much of one and not enough of another. But everybody has to use the base. So this is what I want you to bear in mind. Look in your hygiene products. I want you to go in there, and if you're a male, look at all the things that you use. What do you use in order to, that really truly, they're your go-to product no matter what, they're your favorite, you love them, that's what you're going to use. Even when you have the shortest amount of time to get ready and get out the door. What is your go-to? And women do the same thing. What is it that you're going to use that's your go-to no matter what? And it is what you can use, you depend on it, at the shortest amount of time you can get ready and out the door. Now, I want you to look at those products. You are going to see a commonality among them. So let me explain. This is your canvas. God made you this beautiful canvas. And the things that we put on it can enhance those features. We also use things to protect our organ and to look after it and beautify it, to groom ourselves and care for ourselves. So the very first rule I want everybody to bear in mind is preparing the canvas. And to prepare and prime the canvas, you cleanse it. That is the first thing. For men, they shave, which is exfoliating. A woman may use a scrub or a mask to exfoliate. But even if she applies soap and water and washes it with a washcloth, he and she both have accomplished the same thing. You have prepared your canvas, you have primed it, and you have cleaned it. Your body is going to replenish the oils within a matter of time to re-moisten that skin and get it back to the hydrated level that it was, because you just removed all of the surface and exfoliated it. So now it's going to immediately start secreting liquids to replenish and soften and moisturize the skin and make it supple again. Now, things that you can add that can help with those that are ground in dirt that you're worried about and shrinking the pores are toners. You can do that. It's kind of like it's astringent for the skin, so it's just making a little bit deeper cleansing beyond the surface. And then always follow with a moisturizer if you need to. Sometimes if you're using a good product, that's not even necessary. And I can tell you, if you use my soap, you don't even need to do that. But you can put moisturizer on there to reduce lines, wrinkles, and crevices and slow down the signs of aging Just use a good moisturizer that is not heavy and does not have all of these bad things in it. Bear those things in mind. It is so uniquely important to look at your tools and your containers. You are the artist. Think of it as your hand and your artistry. And if you look at the products you use on a regular basis, you're going to see this commonality. It is the tool and the container that makes it unique to you and how you apply it and why it works for you, and get rid of the rest. Those are the secrets to beauty care and to looking glamorous and good. Stick with those products you know work for you, you like them, and then pay attention to the commonality among them. A $35 mascara is not going to work any better for you than an $8 or $12 one. And if it has fibers in it to thicken your eyelashes, great. Hopefully that mascara will last you a long, long time, because that's a big investment. But if it makes you feel good and it looks good on you, it is what you need. Get rid of the rest and stop wasting your money. When you find something that works, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Stick with it and keep that in mind. When you're budgeting, say, I already have what I need. It serves me. It does me well. It does what I need it to do. And do not get pulled in and convinced on something that's not going to do any more for you than what you've already got. The whole idea of growing older and becoming debt-free is to age well. And we have to take care of our skin as well as the stress and our mind. And these products that they have you buying, they have so much in them that's so bad for you. It is a bad trade-off. When you consider aging in a good way and the way we want to versus it's going to damage my skin and make me look even older, you're not aging well if you're doing that. And be aware of that and stop buying all that stuff that's just wasting your money and it doesn't work. Release yourself from the guilt and donate it. Now, I will put charitynavigator.org. You can look them up, and there are places that will take half, 1/3, partially used, brand new, never opened, beauty products, hygiene care, personal care. They will distribute that among people who truly, truly need it. And you can truly donate that to just about anywhere. You're talking homeless shelter, you're talking outreach missionaries, I think even, battered women's shelter. There are so many associations that will gladly take your products and distribute them to people in need. Stick with what works for you because you are the artist. This is your canvas and you're accentuating the things and taking care of the wonderful creation that you already are. Number 10, frequent nights out to eat, and call in orders. This is one place that you can truly tighten up your belt, thicken up your wallet, and grow your bank account really, really quick. This is so important when you are trying to become debt-free and save your money. If you're wasting it on those things, perhaps you need to equip yourself with another skill. There are endless places on YouTube showing how to cook on all of your social media, including Pinterest. And there's many ways that you can learn. With all the updated appliances, you can really easily cook healthy, nutritious meals at home. And this is what's so unique about it. If you can turn on a microwave, you can boil water. And if you can boil water, you can fix anything. And the great thing is, when you buy something, the instructions are on the package. Just follow them step by step. Anyone that can turn on a cell phone, download an app, or watch a YouTube video can maneuver themselves to make their own nutritious meals. And if you need to and you're a single person, you can do this in advance and place them into the freezer. Perhaps investing in some good thick meal bags and reusables that you can zip tight and freeze that or put it in containers and you can use it at a later date. This is one of the fastest ways that you can truly, truly save money. And I am not even making it up. Now, we do not go out to eat very often. And when we do, we look at it as a privilege. That is something that you should look at doing. So the first week, try it on. try preparing all of your meals at home. Every single one of them. Do not do any call-in orders, no takeout, no drive-through, and simply prepare your meals at home. You are going to suddenly see that you have a lot more money sitting in your bank account than you did before. That paycheck went a lot further. And try it on again the next week. So then when you go out to eat, you will truly appreciate it, and it will be exercised as a privilege, giving yourself a time out, a time off, and taking a break to someone else is preparing your meal. If you do it that way, you will truly be successful in increasing your money coming in. And you will get healthy. You're going to be de-stressed. You're definitely going to feel better. And you'll have a lot more motivation because you're eating more healthy and nutritious. When you prepare your meals, go ahead and plan out to pack out your lunch. Take your lunch every day to work. Be sure to include lots of snacks that you can have during your breaks. And I assure you, you will feel a lot better. If you have a crowd that goes out to eat every single day, and you start eating your lunch, perhaps they will go somewhere where you can come along, order a drink, and sit down and eat your lunch. I used to do it all the time. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, and they're not going to mind. There might be somebody who gives you some kind of growl about it. If you've made a purchase of some kind and you're participating, then perhaps you might need to waver away from that and encourage the ones that you're with to eat with you and take turns. And then that way you get to have their company. I will also tell you this. Where I worked at, a lot of the people that went out to eat, I ate lunch in the break room. I actually exercised and used that break room to eat my lunch. It was good downtime. I needed to get away from the stress. I needed that downtime and to get away from what I was working and just de-stress for a minute. That was my time, and I definitely didn't want to talk about work or fool with any of it, even though I'm sitting in the break room at that job. We would take turns every week. We would all bring something once a week, and we would eat together in the break room. It got to be a regular thing to where it almost was daily. We were sitting there and we're like, hey, I think I'll bring da-da-da. Or we would exchange some of the things that we were trying, some of the things that we were eating. And this was male and female, unisex. This was not just a female thing. Guys like good food. They're going to eat. As the old saying goes, the quickest way to the heart is through the stomach. So I am telling you, that might be something you can consider, is potluck or covered dish, and take turns in bringing something. Think of something good and nutritious that's quick and easy. You can simply do all kinds of wraps. You can do pinwheels. You can do casseroles. There is so much that you can do that really, really is easy. And for a single person, this works out even great because they are able to feed themselves, have extra for them at a later date, and have all of this food that's already made that they can share with others, and it costs them less than it would have had they just went out to eat. There are so many ways that you can rework your mind to save your money, stop wasting on things you don't need, and add value to your life and your relationships too. So these are good things, and I'm just saying that if you want to truly save some money, you've got to do away with some of these habits, and it is changes that you got to make, and just try them on. And if they start working well and you notice how easy it is to adjust, sometimes it might be a struggle for some, but most people will find such relief that it's so easy to implement, and they'll just continue that. And it will get to the point to where you will not ever want to go out to eat. You will always begrudge it. You will just be like, no, I don't want to go out to eat. Because you are healthy and you're eating more nutritious and you're enjoying the food that you ate. The thing with eating out is a lot of times you'll have stuff left over, but you still, when you go out to eat, you feel a sense of obligation, so we overeat. And then we feel miserable and we feel bad. Or we'll get the leftovers to take with us and they look so horrible the next day, we don't want to go nowhere near them. We'll just dispose of them. And if we do happen to eat them, it was to be a smaller amount, and we just will not have that sense of that freshness and that taste good. Even though we ate it and we got our belly full, it just did not content us. It just didn't have the same excitement and fulfillment it did when it was originally hot and served to us. So these are things to consider. Honestly, the only thing that I can honestly say that I think is a good leftover after ordering out, takeout, or eating later is pizza. And that is a weakness for me. I love pizza, and I will consume all of it. So the leftovers are going to get devoured. I will eat pizza for breakfast, lunch, supper. It does not matter. I love pizza. So that is one thing I can say is just as good the next day as it was when it was served, and I can enjoy it. So those are things that I feel might be something I would order that everybody gets to enjoy, and I get to enjoy it more than one time. So to me, that's kind of a good purchase. I am not against going out to eat with friends and using it as entertainment. There again, exercise it as a privilege. When you are broke and you have no money, poor people can't afford to be eating out. They need to be preparing their meals at home more nutritious and packing their lunch, so to speak, along with their snacks, making sure they're getting the nutrition they need. And I assure you, your problem solving and feeling better, it's all going to be in there because the food you're putting in is giving your body what it needs, and it's more fulfilling, and you're able to feel better. The fatigue, the stress, all of those things are rewards that come with eating more nutritious. You get rid of the stress really quick. You're overweight, you start losing weight and start feeling better, and you sleep good. There are so many benefits from eating good nutrition that you prepared yourself, and you know what went in it, and you know the time that you took to prepare it just for you to fit your palate. I hope you've enjoyed all of these tips as well as these 5. To get the others, be sure to check the playlist in the block at the end of this video. And also check out the Decluttering, Organizing, Donating, and Frugal Living playlist. You'll enjoy it. I'll also put a link to the other episode in the description box down below, and you can check that out. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It lets me and YouTube know that you did, and they'll share more of the like. And with that being said, be sure to share it with someone you think might gain something from this and get value from it. I really appreciate it, and it helps my channel to grow. And to continue to grow, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. It's totally free, and we are always sharing things on here that are budget friendly, saving money, tips, tricks, organizing, decluttering, and many, many things of information as a variety here on the channel. Be sure to put in your tips of what you do in the comments down below. I will be pinning them so that others can enjoy them when they come and view the video and might pick up a trick or two from you. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Elizabeth. Until the next money saving tip episode, which will be number 3 of our next 5, I'll be cleaning y'all.